Now, what's your favorite thing about being a rock star?
To me, it's making music.
You guys, yeah.
Yeah.
Singing, playing songs, you know. And that we certainly don't consider ourselves. You asked that question kind of tongue-in-cheek, I'm sure, because I don't think you talk to many people that actually consider themselves rock stars. I certainly don't feel like a rock star. Not this week. I was installing hardwood floor at my house and I'm a little beat up.
Oh, cool.
And last week, and the week before. But I'm almost done.
I'm just happy not to be a roofer in Houston in July.
Yeah. Typically, how does your band go about creating a new song? You said you were kind of writing right now and going through that. Is there a process that you guys do? Lots of bands have different ways that they create songs.
Make coffee, loaf around the house, stare at the piano. It's pretty much the deal.
Basically, that's...
Listen to a sermon.
Yeah. Do you start with a melody first or words first? Anything?
Well, music comes easier, but a song's not complete without a lyric, and you can write melodies all day and not have a song because you don't have a lyric. So I like to start with a general lyrical kind of nugget and then form the song around that. Generally how the best work gets done.
Okay.
There was a season that I would just kind of leave it to the fates to see what happened. And sitting at the piano playing the same riff over and over and over again, or you know, in front of Pro Tools and listening to the same loop 100 times until something hit. And sometimes it would or wouldn't, but I think it's better to find the central thing, you know, and then the song kind of writes itself around the idea. You know, it's not like you have to. Once the passion for it is there, the music kind of comes along. So yeah, that's been my mode for my last song, but I've only written one song yet. So for this record, because I've been installing hardwood floors like a.
For myself and the founder Jay, I wanted to ask. He turned me on to a song, and it was "Cathedral Made of People." Is there anything you can tell us about inspiration on that, or any background on that?
I worked really hard on that song. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted the song to be exactly about. It started out as the lyric used to be, "We are a people, not a steeple," or something like that.
Yeah.
So the song kind of started out with a little bit of a negative connotation. Hey, we're not this, you know. So after rewriting the song 5 or 6 times, I finally realized, well, I should make it a song about what we are instead of what we're not. So I still kept with the idea of you know, the building, the physical representation of the church, and I just wanted to be a song about to remind believers who and what they are, because you know it's when times are easy, you don't really think about that stuff. When you know hard times hit, it's you really got to know your identity. So it's really just a song about our identity as a believers. Pretty simple.
And then how about your new song, "How Many Kings"? Anything to say about that one?
Well, for one, it's on our new Christmas record that's coming out. And for us, it's not a new song. For a lot of people, it will be, but it was released to radio last year, 2 years ago, right? For the Christmas season, and lots of people got it. A lot of people responded to it, and so we decided to kind of chase down that idea and follow it up with a record. And yeah, Mark wrote the song.
It's just yeah. Well, when I was writing the song, I was just kind of. Well, I knew I was trying to write a Christmas song, and Christmas is pretty little intimidating for a writer because you know it's been written about so many times. What new angle? And I don't know if it was a new angle, but for me it was kind of a fresh way of looking at it. Just kind of thinking about what's my favorite thing about the gospel, and my favorite thing about the gospel is that God just chooses to do things in a different, totally opposite way than I would ever think of. You know, when it comes to grace and humility. And you know, and how he showed us that in coming as a baby in an animal's eating trough. So that's kind of the launching pad for How Many Kings. It's just a rhetorical question.
What's the most fun you've had recently? Anybody want to talk about anything they've done or you guys have done together or something? Any stories to tell?
We got stuck on a strange road in Ontario, northwestern Ontario. Sometimes the GPS makes poor decisions, and we make the poor decision of following those poor decisions. Anyway, we ended up on the road with our big 15-passenger van and trailer, and if you reached out the window about this far, you'd be getting whipped by trees on either side. Jason eventually climbed out and stood on top of the van while we drove down the severe puddle mud. It was crazy, yeah.
We were literally off-roading with a van.
At one point I looked up at the window and we're like, oh, we're driving down a beach. That's good. Awesome.
Oh, wow.
So that was a long time. I mean,
We were on that road a while, yeah.
Almost 20 miles.
How can your fans become more part of what you guys are doing? Are there any causes you're into? Or is there anything where they can connect with you? And
I think we've, as a ministry, really navigated in some ways passively, and hopefully with the hopes that God would really lead us, and allow us to do what we can do, where we can do it. And that's been a faith thing for us, just really trusting that God can use this, in this moment, in this small capacity, whatever the interview is, whatever the room is, just sort of taking this moment captive and letting God do with it what He can. And I guess our encouragement to people would be to do the same. Our sort of our little soundbite when people ask, how can we do what you guys do, and or how can we be part of what you guys do? Well, love Jesus and serve people. I think that's probably the best we can do. That's the best we can offer the world. Trust Him that He makes it something. Don't try to attach yourself to something that's big, other than the bigness of God's plan, and that often takes the shape of working in the corners and in small capacities and in small ways. And God makes those things great. So,
We've been partnered with World Vision for a number of years, and so that's kind of when we're on the road talking about a cause and whatnot, that would be something that we've just been partnering with them and trying to get kids sponsored and help people, give some people a tangible thing to walk away from the concert with, as opposed to just another CD and another buzz for the night.
yeah.
And then we just involved our fans in helping raise money to buy a bus. We've been in a van for a long time, and I just kind of gave them the opportunity to help out. We're rock stars, but not rich rock stars, and they really stepped up to the plate and have responded. And so hopefully next time we'll be stuck on a road in a van, or in a bus.
I've lost all my earthly optimism that it's all gonna be alright, that the good will win this fight.